Welcome to the Bespoked Show in Dresden. We've got loads of amazing bikes, all bespoke. Amazing bike here on the Sauer bicycle stands. This is the Carbon Crush. Sauer are famous for making lots of wonderful steel, gravel and mountain bikes, but they do road bikes too. And this one is their new version, and it's very clever. We've got some carbon integrated tubes. This is a prototype, so the actual production one will flow in, there won't be a step. And the carbon that they're using is 99% recyclable as well. It's filament wound, so it means they can get all the carbon fibers in the right place. We've got carbon head tube up there, and then this ISP, so integrated seat mast. It will be available to buy as is, but it's often a custom thing. So you'd be able to buy it with an extension, or you'd be able to chop it down and stick, a regular seat post. Tyre clearance, up to 34. Possibly bigger, but a lovely, jazzy coloured road bike. There's some really incredible bikes, and one is just here. It's Danger Home's reimagining of, I'm not sure if it's a reimagining of a gravel bike into a mountain bike, or a mountain bike into a gravel bike. Either way, it's thought-provoking, isn't it? What are your thoughts? Let me know in the comments down below. Custom steel bikes here. No, there's some incredible creations, just like this Bordeaux. That means echelon in France, or, hopefully means that. What we got is a tie-lugged carbon tube bike. That's been done before, but the way that the tubes are created, they're filament wound, and then they use a resin transfer method to infuse them with resin, is very unique. I've never seen it before. I mean, the resin transfer is used on other bikes, but not in a construction style like this. We've got an NV fork, we've got lots of integration, we've got custom options for essentially everything and anything. One thing that's also amazing is that Bordeaux will, if you decide to change the ride of the bike later on, maybe it's you've bought it and you were very racy and on the top of your game, and now 3 years, 4 years, 5 years later, you want a slightly softer ride, but the same bike, the same geometry. Well, these guys will, change the tubes and change the ride of the bike. Bordeaux aren't just making road bikes, no, they've got gravel bikes too, and they've got lots of options, because we're at the Bespoke Show. These are custom bikes, so you can get them in lots of different configurations. First up, we've got the Instinct. So this is the more road-based one. I say more road-based, but you can still fit pretty big tyres in it, up to 43, but bigger if you really want. We've got the same construction as the road bike, so we've got this wonderful, clever carbon tube with the tie lugs. The carbon tubes are noteworthy as well, because they're filament wound, dry filament wound, and then the resin is, put in through a separate process. Yes, it's an extra step, but there's extra control, and that means there's extra customization that they can get. It means they can change how these tubes, how stiff they are, how they work in a kind of functional way, and that means that they can change the ride radically. This one has got a very clever fork from Open, and that means it's a, specific design stem, one-piece bar, but with adjustment as well. Beautiful bike. But they do more than the kind of racier versions like this. They do custom, as mentioned. So we've got this titanium version here. We've got an NV fork, we've got an NV cockpit as well. Again, titanium throughout. Incredible welding and machining and 3D printed segments. It is really amazing. And it can handle huge tyres. This one I think is built around 50mm tyres, but you can go up to 2.2, which in my maths is about a 54mm tyre. Big stuff. Great looking bike. You might not have heard of Partington wheels yet, but I think you will be hearing about them in the future. They're an Australian brand that really focus on making the best wheels on the planet. There's some huge innovations. We've got carbon spokes. We've got a carbon rim, as you might imagine. This one's the slightly slimmer one. I think it looks aesthetically beautiful, but there is a deeper, more aero one. But there's a lot of clever stuff going on. They've got floating bearings inside. They've got a different free hub, and they've got a U-shaped spoke setup. So it's not just one spoke, but it loops around. They've got different spoke thicknesses for the different sides of the wheels, and then they've got a no nipple construction. So it's in a way one piece, but it's made up of different parts and different formats to get the most out of the carbon fibre. I think you're going to hear a lot about these wheels. And from what I've seen and heard, they're already being used at the very top of the sport, at the Tour de France and other races, but with somebody else's stickers or no stickers on. So watch out for this brand. It's going places. Wouldn't be Bespoke without some incredible paint jobs. This one feels amazing. I know that sounds odd, but it means that it's been taped, painted, and then painted again with a clear coat. Amazing stuff from Veloheld. Curve are an Australian brand making some fantastic bikes, mostly out of titanium. This one is a reinterpretation of their Kevin with even more bits of carbon. They had a show bike last year that had a carbon seat mass from memory, and it did really well to the point where it's almost ready for production. This one is a little way off, but it's already a winning bike because it's won Best Gravel here at Bespoked. That is a real title. There's so many gravel bikes here, but this one, it's the best. This is Curve's Ultra. It's their road model for going far and fast. And this one's equipped with some really nice fenders, perfect for kind of inclement weather, which in the UK we're going to get more frequently thanks to, well, where we are in the time of year. But this is really nice. And we've got fenders and we've got clearance for 40mm tyres, purely for comfort. I mean, the titanium frame is going to be comfy too. Beautiful bike. It's not all dual race equipped hyper bikes. No, there's some other wonderful custom bikes as well. This one is from Ted James, and if you've watched the GMBN channel, which I'm normally on, you'll have seen that he's helped me build a frame for GMBN, and it's really amazing. But he also builds road and gravel, and this one is equipped with the new Shimano Qs in silver. It's the 10-speed drop bar set, and it looks lovely. You've got wonderful polished calipers, you've got the silver highlights on the rear mech that's got an on and offable clutch, and that wide range cassette. Great option for your gravel bike. This bike has been one of the talks of the show. Lots of people have been coming up to me and talking about Bonanno, this newer, at least for me, Italian frame builder, although he is based in Germany. It's an incredible mix of, well, steels. We've got stainless and we've got other wonderful Columbus steel. That in itself is lovely. The way it's been made is incredible. We've got a wonderful full dual race here. Obviously it's a custom bike. You can get it whichever group set you want. I think the dual race really fits well. It's a really high-end premium product, like the frame. And then there's this surface treatment, which is, well, somewhat of a kind of mythical coating. Magical. I've never seen a paint this good. It's almost like a greeny chrome. Not sure if it will come through in Technicolor quite as well as it should do on your phone, on your TV or on your computer, but in person, in metal, it is incredible. It's a peerless finish, as is the rest of the bike. Beautiful. Sorry to disappoint the marsupial fans. This Quokka and the one behind me are actually from France, from the Loire Valley, and they offer up, well, a beautiful custom steel bike. They're really amazing. And we've seen custom bikes here at Bespoked a lot because it's a wonderful material to make custom bikes. But not many of them have had their own custom forks. And when you're making a whole frame and you're making the fork as well, it means you can offer up a lot more ride feel. This one, as is, probably thinking steel, that's heavy. It's even got fenders on. Goodness, that's heavy. But this, even with bags on and pedals, is sub 10 kilos. Impressive. And it's not just wonderful Audax or really long distance road bikes. No, he's making gravel bikes too, again with this beautiful custom steel fork. And it's custom, so it offers up, well, different ride characteristics. Much like this back end is different because all these bikes are custom. What's shared though is this incredible surface treatment and, well, beautiful paint. Really interesting. If you're one of the customers on one of these Quokkas, much like the Quokka, you'll be one of the happiest marsupials around. You might not have heard of Jaeger, but you should definitely put them on your lust list if you're after a custom bike, or if you're after any bike really. They are really incredible. They've been making bikes since 1935. This one is, well, just delicious. A fantastic example of a modern road bike. Sensible tyre clearance, 35mm. And, well, one-by drivetrain, all the modern stuff, including disc brakes that you might want. But seeing as they've got all that legacy, they'll probably do you a rim brake bike as well. Well worth looking at. There's so many creative ways of, well, connecting the contact points on these bikes. So we get so many different solutions. Here's a beautiful steel bike with fenders, with rim brakes. Very different to the other French bikes we've seen, but this French builder is from near where my t-shirt is based. Yeah, Roubaix. Wonderful bike for the cobbles. Again, we talked about creativity, and that's pretty much core at Bespoke. There's so many different flavors and different varieties. For some people, these bikes might be a bit of a turn-off, but when you start to look at the technical details, the paint finish, it is a smorgasbord of delights. This frame is actually a Splitworks design, so we've got some frame junctions here and here. That means that this frame's packable. We've got this beautiful color fade on this one with these nice Japanese Honjo fenders. And then the other bike as well, combination of trophy truck and, well, toy car paint job. Looks amazing. When you see the rows there, it means that this bike is, well, award-winning, and this one has won Best Finish. It's easy to see why. It is really mind-blowing. The paintwork is, well, sublime. You can run your finger across it, and even though it looks incredibly deep, and clearly there's multiple layers because there's so many different colours, it's just smooth as silk. Wonderful frame, wonderful bike from Avalanche. They're a French brand based in Paris, and the bags are even French as well. Wonderful bike. Wow, my brain is zinging from all the incredible creations. Who knew there were that many different ways of connecting the dots between your contact points on a bike and the wheels on the ground? And I know I've got my favourites. Some of those carbon bikes are incredible, but that steel, that green steel bike, that was incredible. I mean, that was my favourite. What about yours? Let us know in the comments down below.